Are you ready to stop riding the emotional elevator of life? Are you ready to learn how to elevate your emotions that keep you psychologically traumatized or in an addictive behavior? You are in the right place. Here is your host, Sandee Byrd, trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach of the Emotional Elevator Show.
Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Sandee Byrd. I am the host here on the Emotional Elevator. Gosh, why did I have to think about that? On Inspired Choices Network. I was trying to say on Emotional Elevator on Inspired Choices Network. Got to do a shout out to Inspired Choices Network. And very pleased to be a part of such a great network. But I am Sandee Byrd. So, who is Sandee Byrd? If you are joining me for the first time, watching me, listening to me, who am I? What I am is basically a transformational coach. And that is both in personal developing of someone and professionally and also in the corporate industry. What I do as a coach is I work all with getting into the nitty gritty. What is it that you need to work on within yourself or want to work on within yourself to unleash your authentic self? If you've got to thrive through forgiveness, that was a big thing in my life, was to start thriving through forgiveness and to find the empowerment within. Because as we all know, and I don't know anyone, and if you're that anyone that's had no trauma in your life, nothing substantial happened to you, reach out to me. I would interview you on this show because I'd love to hear how you manage in life with no trauma or anything like that. But what I do as a coach is we work through that without focusing on it. I'm shaking my head no, but how we can take steps to elevate ourselves as we are going through the changes, challenges. Also, I work with a lot of women in this kind of phase in life where we're trying to redefine who we are. Because those of us who have been empty nesters or who at some point took care of family members and you don't have that title or role anymore, and now you're like, well, now what do I do? Who am I? I'm not needed. What do I want to do? So, what I've done for the last few years is I've become a coach and I help women to realize how to break down what is part of who they are and what is not. Get rid of that social norm of who we think we are, excuse me, and who do we want to be. And there's many techniques out there um, that I've learned to help you dive into that, how to let go, forgiving yourself or forgiving, because it's mainly forgiving yourself. When we're talking about forgiving, this is a big topic. It's forgiving yourself so you gain your power back. And it's not saying, oh, well, I created that within me. No, it's about forgiving the person that harmed you, but it's the action within yourself that frees you, that frees that mind. That's part of you. But in the corporate industry, what I work with is Lego serious play and laughter yoga and how to incorporate this new way of thinking into corporate society where it's no longer mundane. But that is a little bit about me, Sandee Byrd. If you want to reach out to me, you can always reach out to me at my email at sandeebirdcoach@gmail.com or Sandee at Emotional Elevator. My website is sandeebyrd.com. I have programs out there if you're interested. I also have some classes that you might have to follow me on social media to find out about, and that's Sandee with two E's, Byrd, B-Y-R-D, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, TikTok. I'm drawing a blank. I am really YouTube. Drawing a blank here. I was almost going to say Amazon. Yes, you can shop for me on Amazon. One day you will for a book. But anyway, tonight's topic is all about finding peace in the eye of the storm. And in this episode of Emotional Elevator, I, the host, Sandee Byrd, delves into art of staying grounded and present amidst life's chaos, whether it's juggling family demands, workplace stress, or unexpected challenges. I offer practical solutions to help you rise above emotional overwhelm. Through powerful insights and actionable tools, I will guide you on how to create clarity, regain focus, and maintain emotional resistance. Tune in to learn powerful techniques to navigate turbulence with grace and embrace calm within the storm. And we all have calm. I mean, we all can have calm there through the storm. It's how we evaluate the storm, how we can elevate ourselves through the storm, and the storm being anything. It can be when, I mean, there's many times in our lives where we have to be around family members or people that we might not necessarily want to be around, but we don't, I don't want to say we don't have a choice because we always have a choice. But if we're talking a wedding, a funeral, holidays, whatever it is, and we have to be around family members and we're already in that, oh, because we're concerned about what might transpire. Here is the one technique I'm going to tell you about. Don't assume the worst. Don't assume the worst. Go in, and this is very hard. It's taken me years of working on myself from practice, putting myself in vulnerable situations to be around people that I know I don't want to be around, to teach myself how to not create the pre-program in my brain. What does that mean? And this is a big thing with a lot of my clients that we all do. I've got to go, and I'm going to use mom as an example. Because I was working with someone just recently with the mom, and it's, oh, I already know how our conversation's going to go. I know, she'll ask me this, and so we've already made up the conversation. That's never happened. And then we act all surprised when that conversation happens. Well, I know everybody's here is a manifest. That's because when technically we manifested that. But what if we just went in and go, you know what? I'm going to be going to see my mom, and it is going to be the best time ever. And if that conversation comes up that you have not overplayed in your head, direct it somewhere else. But go in already affirming yourself. Sorry, something just didn't fly by, but it was probably just a piece of lint. Don't go in that negative mindset. Go in kind of a positive mindset. I got this. I'm only going to be here 30 minutes. Or, you know what? Other people are going to be around. Don't play those scenarios in our heads. It's the same thing we do sometimes when we're in corporate America. Oh gosh, I got to meet with my boss today. Oh, I know he's going to ask me about this, that. We already get in that negative feeling within ourselves. Don't. Just kind of go in, clear your head. You know what? I'm not going to think about this. I don't need to think about this till tomorrow until I'm in that office. I'm not going to play this through my head. And by not saying not, you're still putting that negative spin on it. So what you want to say is, I'm going to have a positive, powerful conversation tomorrow with my boss. I'm going to have a powerful, positive conversation with my mom. I'm going to have a powerful, positive conversation with my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, my coworker, my friend. I'm going to have only powerful, positive conversations because that changed the trajectory of it. But the biggest thing to do is to not play it through your head. And that's the biggest, I'm telling you, I still sometimes know when I'm going to meet up with family members or friends, or I know, tomorrow I have a meeting with somebody and they're already am playing, oh my gosh, what if they ask me this? Let me have the answer. I've learned I do so much better if I just go in with a clean slate and not predict what's going to be said or asked or anything. And it's more enlightening because you're not already going in there and if you're watching me, I kind of got my shoulders already slumped over going in there. Eeyore. Oh, it's going to be a bad day. Because that's kind of what we do. We take on negative energy that we don't need to. And yes, those are steps that you're going to have to keep taking. And my clients sometimes will reach out to me, send me a text and say, "Hey, I'm about to, you know, meet such and such, or I'm about to go in this big meeting. What should I do?" Nothing. Do nothing. Go in there with a clean slate. Because why do we always bring back here? Why do we bring the backpack with us? Why do we bring our backpack with us of trauma? It's not it's not helpful. Just go in with a clean slate. And yes, it takes a lot of practice. And for some people, it's very easy. Depends on what your human design, it depends on, your astrological chart, it depends on your your spirit modes. It depends on a lot of things that kind of define who you are. And if you can just go in and just, you know what? I know I have that meeting tomorrow, but I'm not going to think about it. Especially when I basically, if you reach out to me and you're like, "Oh, Sandee, I'd like to get on a call with you and work with you." I'm basically on a job interview with you. I don't know what you're going to ask me, and I don't know what I'm going to ask you. It's kind of like that. We do these interviews in life and we don't know what the questions are going to be. When I'm selling my corporate aspect of my business when it comes to Lego Serious Play and Laughter Yoga, I don't know what they're going to ask. The one thing I do know is basically what my price point's going to be, and what if they only want one of my services versus both of them? What if they want me to create the whole day retreat for them and bring in a speaker as well? Well, then I know that, and I know how to break that up. So that's one of the things that I'm just going to teach you is when we're in this chaos and in this storm, don't make it a storm. Don't bring in the chaos before it even happens. And yes, I know that's easier said than done because a lot of people, gosh, I got this meeting tomorrow. Oh gosh, what do you think they're going to ask? We overplay it in our head and then we go into this meeting and they ask something that we're not ready for. And we're like, oh, oh, we're stumped. So why not just go in with that clear head going into it and be positive about it? Be very positive. Because, and I was on a conversation with someone today, how many times have you, and we've all been around a family member that kind of gets underneath our skin, where you're around, you're going to see this family member. It's either a family reunion, a holiday, a wedding, a funeral, whatever, and you're going to see them, and you're already playing it through your head. And then you go to see them, and it is a negative reaction. And I mentioned this already. Don't make it that negative reaction. Just kind of go in, kill them with kindness. It's a big part of who I am. Kill them with kindness. How many people can be negative if I'm in there, ha, ha, laughing, smiling? Kill them with kindness. Because that is the first technique I'm going to teach you tonight. And like I've already said, don't bring the chaos before the storm. Don't make it a storm. Make it a rain shower. Bring the sunshine. Bring the sunshine. You be the sunshine. And that, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat, a cricket or whatever, a hair. But don't bring that in. Completely, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the questions. I'm just going to wait for it to happen. And then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Because you never know. You might be the one creating that storm and the chaos. Think about that. Or ask yourself that. Are you the one creating the storm and the chaos? Or are you the one being the sunshine, walking in the room, lightening it up, stopping the storm, making it all calm and positive? Well, anyway, I'm going to get some water while we're on our break, but it's time for our first break. And you've been joining me. I am Sandee Byrd. I am the host here on Emotional Elevator, and you're watching me on Inspired Choice Network or any other platforms. If you are listening or watching me on any other platforms, please like and follow and stay tuned to more episodes with me and subscribe, because that way you'll know that I'll be coming on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So we're going to go to that first break. And when we come back, I'll go into more techniques on how to break up chaos, how not to be the storm. So let's go to that break.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to sandy@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back. Of course, I am Sandee Byrd. I am the host here on Emotional Elevator, and you are joining me. If you're watching me on any other platform, always come over to the chat room. That way we can have conversations. The last couple of weeks, I've had questions thrown out at me, so we can have conversations. But I picked up this cup, and I just want to show you, because I picked it up last week, because this is who I am. And it's if we are in a don't laugh situation, do not look over at me, because I am the I'm making like faces or whatever, because I watch people a lot and they're like, that was a very intentional look if you're listening to me, not watching me, and they look so stressed. We need to lighten up, because we don't retain all the information that we're given if we are stressed out. So, another technique for if you want to bring peace in the midst of a storm, this thing that we call our breath. We are born with it and we'll die with it. Well, when we die, we won't have it, but your breath, we take our breath for granted because it's just automatic. It's like when you start up your car and it just runs. It's automatic. Your breath is automatic. You breathe in and you breathe out, and you don't have to think about it. This is one thing we don't have to think about in our body, is our breath. It is automatically going. So if something is chaotic, or you're about to walk into that room with a family member you don't want to see, or your boss has called you in their office, or you're about to meet up with a friend, or you're about to have a conversation that you've been dreading having with a loved one or a spouse or something, this is the best thing to ever do, is to just, and if you're not able to hear me or not watch me, it's just, even if you close your eyes, take a good breath in and always exhale through your mouth, because when you exhale through your mouth, you're not only releasing toxin, you're releasing that negative energy. You're letting it out. You're not breathing it through your nose, you're just letting it completely out. And if you've been part of a storm, and to get yourself out of the storm is to also breathe. So let's say you did have a heated conversation with somebody. I don't like to say argument. You had a heated conversation with somebody, and you're walking around, you're walking away, and it's over with, and you're still feeling that tension and everything. Just breathe. Breathe in and exhale, but exhale through your mouth. We take our breath for granted, and our breath has so much power. So much power. If we could just learn to use it for its powerful ways. Our breath is a superpower within us, and we don't realize it. And a lot of people are like, I mean, a lot of people have anxiety and panic attacks. It's because their breath is, they're in what in Kundalini yoga we call almost a breath of fire. But if you could just close your eyes, I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to exhale. I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to exhale. When I actually was still at my corporate job, and I do kind of go there time to time, that's one of the big things that I always, whenever I saw somebody panicking or getting excited or getting upset, I would just kind of, can I put my hands on you? I would ask for that invitation. Okay, I want you to focus, look in my eyes, and we're just going to breathe. And I'm going to tell you how to breathe. We're going to breathe in, counting to 5. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it was slower. Sometimes it was longer. And I would always increase it. And it would calm them instantly down. So think about your breath. Whenever I do any type of laughter yoga or anything with breath work or whatever, I always tell people, put your hand on your heart and your hand on your stomach and just breathe into it. Just breathe into it. Close your eyes. So there is another technique, our breath. You don't need anything. You don't even have to pay for anything for that. That I'm giving you for free because you have it for free. Your breath. It is the one thing in life that is free. Free is your breath, and the ability to control an outcome of anything with your breath. Because if you're focusing on your breath, you are not focusing on that storm or the chaos going on. Think about it. If I sat here for an hour and just said, okay, we're all going to breathe in and breathe out, do different breaths, the box breath, an 8 count, hold breath, 4 release. If I did many different breath work techniques that I know and just had you breathing, you probably would not even remember what I talked about in the first part of the show. Because the first part of the show, like I said, was don't play those negative thoughts and scenarios into your, when you're going into a situation. Let go of that. Let go of pre-recorded conversations in your head. That's what I was trying to come up with the first time. Don't play those pre-recorded conversations in your head that you don't know is going to take place. But your breath, there's so many different things to do. Start off with a 4 count in and a 4 count exhale through the mouth. 5 count, 5 count exhale. 6 count, 6 count exhale. Then start playing around with it where With my laughter yoga, we breathe in on an 8 count, we hold it for a 4 count, and we sigh out, "Ha." And everyone gets so relaxed. And that's how we start off. And those people who feel uncomfortable about laughing, they're not even thinking about that we're about to do something weird and unusual for them. Laughter yoga. So, breath. That breath is so important and it can take you to a whole different level because through the breath, you can get into a hypnotic state and you can get into a state of peace and calm and tranquility. Breathwork is another form of release for people and I am certified in breathwork and hypnosis and trauma hypnosis. So that is another tool I have in my toolbox to use with clients. But I always work with breathing, having my clients breathe. But another technique is and this is something that you've got to gear for yourself. I've been in audiences and been part of panels and stuff where they're doing visualization, how to quiet the mind. The one thing, and if you are watching me or listening to me and you yourself are a coach or anything, do not try to tell them what to visualize. I was in a group with someone who was more experienced than I was, but didn't realize you need to read your crowd, that to do visualization techniques, you have to tell them for them to go to their happy place. Don't use your happy place or don't use your happy object. A visualization is a big one where if you are really stressed out and you want to sit there, you can sometimes just breathe into it and visualize. It's like they say, if you don't know how to speak in a big crowd, visualize them all naked. You might not be able to speak because you might be laughing the whole time. But instead, if you're in a stressful situation, take that moment to breathe, but to visualize in your happy place. And what I'm saying for that is, I'm not going to tell you what to visualize. It's got to be your happy place or what brings you joy or what you can do. Because, like I said, I was in a group and the person said, I want you to visualize you're at the beach and you can hear the waves crashing. And now I want you to visualize the water. And I just looked over and saw this person starting to panic because they were afraid of the water. They were afraid of the beach. They had been in an undercurrent as a child. That did not bring them peace. So that's why I say when you visualize what brings you joy and peace. So if a beach, nice calm waves, visualize that. You can be, even right now, I can sit here and tell you, if I start breathing and visualizing, I will forget I'm doing my podcast, my show right now. Because that is the power of visualization. And I'm even going to go into some more techniques when it comes to the visualization. But just visualize. If it's walking out in nature, if it's petting your dog, if it's petting your cat, if it's your favorite blankie. Oh, I wish I was at home in front of the fireplace with my favorite blankie right now. Just visualize it. It will also take those negative thoughts and feelings out of your head and calm you down. And these are all techniques when you work with me. I teach women, it's mainly women, how to start doing this for yourself. Like if you are a woman who still has younger bearing kids or even teenager, and you seem there's always to be tension, you can teach the whole family how to do this. Look, we're just going to sit here and breathe for a moment. I wish I would have known this with my 3 teenagers. My kids are 4 years apart, 3 kids, 4 years apart, basically 4.5 years apart. Do the math. Very close together, but there was a lot of fights. And if I could have just said, you know what, everybody just breathe. I probably said that a couple of times and they looked at me like the crazy mom, but now they get it. When they get upset or angry, just to breathe or to visualize. Visualize being in your happy place. And it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. Maybe your happy place is having your little dog on your lap, petting it. Maybe your happy place is being out in the woods or on a mountain looking over the edge at the beach. Maybe it's not a dog, maybe it's a cat. Maybe it's a blanket, your favorite soft blanket that's kind of like a cashmere feel or a silky feel. But just take the time to visualize that, feel into that storm, and it can calm you down. And one of the biggest things with that breath is I tell people before you respond, if you are in a storm, if you're in a chaotic state and you want to like just defend yourself, breathe first. Take that moment to go, respond, don't attack. You get more response when you respond and don't project, attack, or feel like they have to be on the defensive. If you just say, you know what, John, I'm just going to throw out this name. You know what, John? I admire your opinion. That's not my opinion. So if you don't mind, and people are like, this does not work. Yes, you can have it work. I've taken years of practicing this within myself and teaching my clients that you can do this by taking a moment to breathe, acknowledging what they said. So you are also acknowledging what you heard, because sometimes we don't hear right. We jump in and go on a full-blown attack. Where is this coming from? All I said was shut the door, and you're like attacking me or something. Well, that's because we didn't take that moment. We're already with that backpack on. So it is time for our second break, and then I'm going to teach you some more techniques. But you're listening to me, Sandee Byrd, on Emotional Elevator on the Inspired Choices Network. If you want to work with me right now, like I say, if anyone's out there who wants to get a package or start working with me because some of this resonates with you, I am doing a 10% off discount. Just reach out to me. I'll tell you all about that. You can find me at Sandee Byrd, those two E's, BYRD.com. Sandee Byrd on Facebook, Sandee Byrd on LinkedIn, Sandee Byrd on Instagram, Sandee Byrd on YouTube, Sandee Byrd everywhere. And if you want to email me right now, Sandee, BYRD coach at gmail.com or Sandee at Emotional Elevator. Let's have a connection. Let's connect and have a conversation. Even if it's just because you want to have a conversation with me. Don't charge to have free conversations. But it's time for that break. And when we come back, I'll give you some more techniques.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to sandy@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back. Tonight, I don't know where that country accent just came from. Tonight, I'm talking all about bringing peace into that storm when you have chaos and storm in your life. And I'm teaching techniques. The first part of the show, I was going to say breath and visualization. First part, I talked about all about changing and don't play that conversation. Don't play that pre-recorded conversation in your head before it happens. We do that a lot as humans. We know we're going to see somebody that maybe the last time it wasn't a good interaction, or a boss has called us into the office and we go, oh my gosh, what are you thinking? We have a pre-recorded conversation in our head. And what do? We bring our backpack of all of our other conversations we've ever had in our life. Don't do that. Just go in, tell yourself, you know what? I don't know what this conversation is going to be about. I don't know how they're going to be when I see them. Because a lot of times we do those pre-recorded conversations when we're about to be around family, maybe in meetings that brings a lot of stress to us because maybe we're called on in big groups, and that don't even just wing it. Don't have the pre-recorded conversations. Just kind of go in being positive. I got this. I got this. I got this. Then I talked a lot about breath. It's free. We have it. We don't pay a lot of attention to it, but there's many, and you can even Google these. But I am a breathwork facilitator, certified in breathwork, and I'm certified in hypnosis and trauma hypnosis. So I can teach you different styles of breathing and how to calm your nervous system down when you are in chaos or in the storm. It brings you peace. Your breath is a guarantee in life. Your breath is your one guarantee in your whole entire body for life, that breath. And then I talked about visualization. Imagine you're in a happy place. You can be eyes open and go into a hypnotic state and visualize something if you are in the middle of a chaotic storm. Another thing that I want to teach people is all about grounding. Grounding yourself does not mean you have to go out into the forest and walk around on the ground. Grounding means you can do anything. You can do tapping. Someone taught me to tap on the thalamus. I got it. I got it. I've done tapping on my chest. I've just pushed on my heart. I've tapped on my arms before. I've even done almost like butterfly fingers as a grounding. If it's a conversation, all you got to do is focus on. Also, a lot of people know grounding comes with the feet, but it can be anything. But some grounding can be if you're in a boss's office or any other, or you're in an interview, just take your toes and move them around in your shoes or whatever. And if you have whatever socks, hose, no socks, doesn't bother me, and feel the inside of it. Feel it or push. A lot of times, if I feel like I need to be grounded and I can't take my shoes off or anything, I'll sit there and I'll just move my feet and push down into the ground and just kind of tell myself, Earth, you got me. You got me, Earth. I call in Mother Earth to ground me in this moment. Don't say it out loud, but I say it to myself. And another thing is you can create chaos-free zones. Go in a bathroom. Go in another room. If it's around family members or in your office and there's something going on and you don't want to be involved, go in the bathroom. If you've ever been a mom, if you've ever been in any type of trauma or abusive situation, you start to learn that the bathroom's your best friend. You can lock the door and, I mean, as a mom, yes, they might pound on the door. Right now, I have a dog that literally you can hear him breathe under the door. Sometimes almost the tongue comes underneath the door because he wants me to know he's there. Or if I can't shut the door fast enough, he wants to come in there with me. But we learn that a lot in life, that we can go in the bathroom. And it's, for me, I've been in stressful situations where, I've done big events. I've been a speaker and I felt, gosh, that didn't go well. So I go in the bathroom and I'll just put my feet on the ground, don't take my shoes off, and I just get that breath going, visualize, laugh sometimes at myself. And it just sets you, it gets you more positive. And that's another thing, is laughing. If you're in a bathroom by yourself and you have just gone through a stressful situation, there's been a storm, you just stand in the mirror and you start laughing at yourself. If it's a private bathroom, you can stay in there as long as you want and laugh at yourself. And I don't mean laugh at yourself and make fun of yourself. I'm just saying laugh, just ha 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 ha, and laugh at yourself. That's a way to calm your nervous system down too, because it starts producing those happy hormones within you. And that storm will be pushed to the side. So those are a couple of techniques. And all of these techniques are things you can do. Visualize your happy place. Breathe. This thing is free. Tap your chest. Like I learned, tap in your thalamus. Go in the bathroom, lock the door. If it's one that's got a seat cover, put the seat cover down, sit on it, or put covers on it if it's a public bathroom, and just sit there and breathe, visualize, laugh. If you're in a bathroom where there's a mirror, you can laugh at yourself. And if someone walks in and you're laughing, they might join in and just laugh. But just take that moment. And also in the mirror is also a time for you to say, you know what? I did great. I handled that perfectly. And if you feel like you didn't, tell yourself you did. Make it a positive. And another thing is, the bathroom is always an easy way when there's a storm going on to excuse yourself. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. If there is drama going on anywhere around you and you don't want to jump in, you don't want to engage in it, go to the bathroom. And that gets you out of it. So there are a bunch of techniques out there, a bunch of different breath work, visualization, not playing that pre-recorded conversation in your head before the conversation even starts, or might not even happen, especially when you're around family members. Grounding yourself doesn't mean taking your feet out of the shoes. You can feel the inside of your shoes with your feet, spread them, put them solid on the ground, maybe push on them a little bit. Tapping can ground you. I've done like this a little bit underneath, like just moving my fingers, touching them, feeling them is grounding. So there's so many techniques that we can learn. And it's time for my last break. And when we come back, I'm going to go into a whole nother technique system that I've put out there many times on social media. I've put out there to my clients to do regularly. And it's part of my coaching program. It's part of my coaching program, but it's also part of my corporate coaching program. This is something I teach at all my corporate retreats as well. It's not just about the Legos. It's not just about the laughter yoga, but it's about this powerful tool that I'm going to give you for you to use in your own life. So if you want to reach out to me, of course, I am Sandee Byrd I'm not just the host here. I am also a personal development coach that has 3 programs right now out there: Unleashing Your Authentic Self, Thriving Through Forgiveness, and Find Your Empowerment Within. All these programs, I have many techniques to give you on how to come out of your shell, or how to, once you get out of that shell and you need to work through that forgiveness to get your power back. And then once you start getting your power back, find the empowerment within yourself to stop the people pleasing, stop all the things that you're doing. But of course, in order to reach out to me, it's Sandee with those 2 E's, bird.com, social media at Sandee Byrd. If you're listening to me on any other platforms, like and subscribe, leave a comment. Want to reach out to me, it's still Sandee Byrd coach at gmail.com, or Sandee at Emotional Elevator. But let's go to our last break tonight.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Sandee@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back. If you're just joining me, or you just stumbled upon my recorded podcast, you need to go back from the beginning, because I've given many techniques as to how to let go of the chaos, bring the peace within the storm. So I started out talking about, I always want to say the breath, because the breath is so free, and it's something I feel is so powerful. But I first started talking about, don't do the pre-recorded conversations in your head. We have a very stigmatized system where if we know we've got to go see our boss tomorrow, if we know we're going to be in a situation that kind of brings us a little anxiety, or we're going to be around those family members that kind of get us riled up, our feathers frazzled, we play these pre-recorded conversations. That's what kind of gets us going. That's what gets us already in the chaos before we get there. Don't play those pre-recorded conversations. Teach yourself, just say, you know what? Don't need to worry about anything. It's not today. And then I went into the breath. This breath, and of course, like, I'm a facilitator of breath work, and I'm a I'm certified in hypnosis. Sorry, I've been having a frog in my throat tonight. But this breath, it's free. It's free. It's the one thing we're guaranteed when we come in this world, and we're guaranteed up until the day we leave this world, is this breath. And it can change our whole outlook and outcome in life by using it. There's many breathwork techniques that you can Google. I can teach you many different breathwork techniques, which I do with my clients. I do breathwork to start off my laughter yoga, and there's many different techniques with it. Then I talked about visualization and how powerful it is to sit there if someone and just kind of tune them out. If you want to tune it out because it's a conversation that doesn't involve you, visualize your happy place. And if you're ever in a room where someone's telling you what to visualize and that is not your happy place, go to your happy place, tune them out and visualize. Because some people's visualizations are not the same. And then I talked about grounding. It does not mean you have to go outside and take your shoes off and feet. There's tapping. There's, doing things with your hands. There's, prayer pose grounds me sometimes. Putting your feet on the ground and feeling the ground below you. Moving your toes around in your in your shoes if you're in a chaotic situation, doing that. And the last technique I'm really going to talk about is my 3 Ps. And this is what I do a lot in corporate, and this is what I teach my clients. It's kind of into the positive IQ, but it's the 3 Ps: promote, powerful, positivity. And the promote part is a penny. You can sit here 10 seconds breathing into it. A penny. Almost everybody has a penny laying around somewhere. Kind of something you can't really spend, just a penny, so you need more than one. I teach my clients too to put it in your pocket, because you can take 10 seconds and change your whole thought process with a penny in your pocket. A penny in your pocket, and just feel it and breathe. Feeling this and breathing for 10 seconds calms the storm, takes the chaos out. If you don't have a penny, use your hands. Use your hands. But I like to say penny because we all want a dollar bill for a promotion, but a penny can promote positivity being in your pocket. So think about a penny in your pocket to have positive outcomes. But the powerful is a pencil. Now, if you put a pencil, I'm showing you, but if you put a pencil in your mouth to 60 seconds, it promotes those happy hormones. You're also producing a smile. Should have done this earlier in life, because then I would have a perfect smile. And yes, you can leave it in as long as you want until you get that gag reflex. That gag reflex does come. But this is what powerful is, because a pencil can promote powerful positivity by creating those happy hormones. But also, if it's a sharpened pencil, you can write a powerful note, not just to yourself, but to someone else. The last one is Post-its, and that is positivity. If you work with me, one of the first things I tell you to do is to have Post-it notes. I think I might even create my own thought, where you write yourself positive notes, but it's just not about writing yourself positive notes. It's about spreading positivity to other people. And I do this in my corporate. Everyone gets Post-it notes, and before they leave, they're writing positive notes to everybody. I said, do it to the person to the left. And then the next group I was in of 85 people, they started doing it for everybody. So that took a lot of time for someone, because they wanted to spread that positivity. Because a lot of times when we're working on yourself, and when I'm working with my individual clients, I start telling them, write yourself a Post-it note, put it in your bathroom. Start saying that. That's your affirmation for this week. But then I start diving into, leave somebody else a Post-it note of positivity. So that's what I want to end tonight with, is about promote powerful positivity. And it's with the 3 Ps: a penny, a pencil, and Post-it notes, which can change your whole chaotic storm within yourself. And these 3 items, let me tell you something. These 3 items, I have a huge box of pencils. I got brand new pennies for my last corporate event, and Post-it notes. All 3 of these combined is underneath 3 cents. Underneath 3 cents. And it can change your day, somebody else's day. It can change everything. Because it's been a while now, but my husband and I started a while ago having Post-it notes next to his Keurig and my tea, my warm tea thing. And we write positive notes to each other. Not every day, because then we wouldn't pay attention. But like every once in a while, we just write a powerful, positive note to the other person. And let me tell you something. Some of the days he does it because he already knows ahead of time. But that's what tonight was all about, is I gave you free techniques to get through the storm. So reach out to me. This is Sandee Byrd, the host here on Emotional Elevator. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Emotional Elevator Show. Sandee returns Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, Start elevating your emotions and stop riding the emotional elevator that is stopping you from living the life you deserve.